We have two standard vectors, A and B, resting flat on a two-dimensional grid. Multiplying them with the standard dot product, which calculates how much they align, gives a single number. This scalar has size, but completely lacks a spatial direction. The physical universe does not strictly slide side to side. Objects spin, orbit, and twist. You cannot calculate the mechanics of a rotating system using only plain numbers trapped on a flat piece of paper. To measure that rotation, our math has to physically escape the second dimension. We need an operation that takes two flat inputs and generates a defined path into the third dimension. We need the cross product. When we combine vector A and B using a cross product, a third entirely new vector, called C, shoots straight up from their intersection. As the grid tilts and rotates, vector C rigidly maintains an exact 90-degree angle to the surface. This vertical line is the exact geometric tool physicists rely on to transition from calculating linear, sliding motion to mapping full rotational physics. By capturing that exact perpendicular trajectory, we can chart twisting out-of-plane forces using the flat geometry we started with. This diagram displays the specific formula for the size or magnitude of our new vertical vector. It equals the length of A multiplied by the length of B multiplied by the sine of theta. Theta represents the angle resting between our two starting lines. Any two intersecting lines create two angles. For this calculation, we strictly use the smaller inside arc, ignoring the larger reflex angle on the outside. To determine which way this new vector points, we use the right-handed screw rule. Look at this model. Imagine turning a screw from vector A toward vector B. The direction the screw travels, in this case driving upward, dictates the direction of vector C. You can also track this with your own body. Open your right hand and curl your fingers from the first line toward the second. Your extended thumb physically points in the exact direction of the new vertical vector. The direction of the resulting vector is not random. It is physically locked to the specific spatial orientation of the original two vectors. In elementary school math, 3 times 4 is exactly the same as 4 times 3. The order of multiplication does not affect the answer. Vectors in 3 dimensions reject that rule entirely. Look at what happens to the right hand when we reverse the process. If we multiply vector B by vector A, you have to curl your fingers from B to A. That motion forces your thumb to point sharply downward, piercing through the floor of the plane. Reversing the sequence reverses the physical direction of the result. Vector A cross B does not equal B cross A. It creates a vector pointing the exact opposite way, resulting in negative C. In the geometry of the cross product, mathematical order dictates physical reality. Swapping the inputs literally turns the entire system upside down. We can move past abstract geometric lines and see this math in action every time a mechanic turns a wrench. A position vector, R, represents the wrench handle extending from the bolt. A force vector, F, strikes its end at an angle. Crossing this position arm with the force creates torque, the twisting force acting perpendicularly along the exact axis of spin. Torque does for spinning objects what linear force does for objects sliding in a straight line. Nothing in the physical universe twists without the cross product. This diagram shows a similar property in motion. If you cross a spinning particle's position vector with its linear momentum, which is just its mass multiplied by its velocity, you generate a fixed vector pointing straight up the axis. We call this angular momentum. Scaled up to the size of a galaxy, angular momentum dictates the flattened shape and stable rotation of hundreds of billions of stars. The exact same mathematical law keeps a small wooden top spinning perfectly upright on a kitchen table. From the tightening of a mechanical bolt to the formation of a spiral galaxy, the perpendicular dimension generated by the cross product is the underlying engine of the rotating universe.